All right, let's take a look at the automated method for account creation. Rather than as a program manager, every time a new person redeems a voucher, needing to come into the program facilitator, create those accounts on the Apple Program Manager website, and then come back here and provision those accounts within the system. There is an automated method for doing that. So it's right here, the automated account creation utility. If I click on that, I'm taken to the new program facilitator account configuration. You can also get to it here. So a couple of things that I have to do for the automated system to work. First, I need an automated method of generating the new program facilitator Apple IDs. So I need to make sure that that field is filled out. We use the VPP underscore at lcic.org. Anywhere there's an asterisk, it will be replaced automatically with a program ID that the system will generate. You also need, you can consider using this password field. If you want all of your program facilitator accounts to share the same password, they'll each have a unique ID, but they could share the same password. If you have just a few program administrators, and obviously these are trusted staff, you can use a single password, and they will all know the passwords for all of the program facilitator accounts. So you could certainly utilize the system that way. If you want to, you need to add this password here, and when the account is created, this is the password that will get used. If you want to create unique passwords for every account, you can certainly do that, and you can still use the automated system. You just need to leave this field blank, and when the automated system runs, a prompt will ask you for the password for each account that it creates. We're going to go ahead and use the automated system. The automated system will log into the program manager account. It will create all of these, and then, because when accounts are created in the program manager portal, Apple gives them a default password, Apple123. And the second step is to then log into that new account with the default Apple123 password, change it to the new password, and then set up a set of security questions so that you can prove ownership of the account. So you need to answer those questions here so that when the automated utility runs, it knows what answers to provide so that you can always recover any of the accounts that it creates. It'll use the same birthday security question and answer for all of those. So fill these out, save the changes, and then we need to download the automation utility. It does require a Windows computer to run. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to save these. All right, once we download the zip file and extract it, put it in a folder all together. You've got a README file with some instructions, but we're going to go ahead and just walk through them here in this video. There's three utilities here. There's the configuration editor, which you must run first. This is where you're going to tell these other two utilities how to function. So the first thing we need to do is run the configuration editor. It's going to ask us for a URL. This is the full URL to the location of our plugin. So I'm going to navigate to my site, and I have my plugin running here. So I'm going to grab this URL and enter that. And it also needs a set of WordPress credentials that have subscriber rights or higher. It's going to use these credentials to log into your WordPress site to grab all the additional information that the utility needs to run. So I'll enter those here. I'll just put some fake ones here for the video, and I'm going to save that file. Once you save that file, you'll notice that it creates an INI file. This INI file needs to be in the same directory with these two utilities for them to run. The INI file, we'll actually pull it open here so you can see it. The INI file contains the data that you just entered, but it is encrypted, so if someone got a hold of this INI file, they wouldn't gain access to your account. All right, so we're going to run this iCafe create VPP accounts utility. I'm going to run it manually by double-clicking it. You could, of course, use Windows Scheduler and have this utility run a couple of times a day automatically, and then the program manager would never need to worry about logging in and checking to see if accounts need to be created. It would happen automatically every time this utility runs. So I'm going to go ahead and run the utility. And right now, in unseen, it is logging in. It's gathering all the information from the database. It's creating the facilitator accounts on the Apple site. It's changing those passwords and setting up the security conditions for account recovery, and then it's finishing. So let's see what happened. All right, our first check, we logged into the program manager account, and we see that the 3 pending accounts have indeed been created. So that part worked fantastically well. And now let's log into the iCafe VPP program manager and see how it did over there. All right, as the program manager, when I log into the program facilitators portal, I can see it looks a little different than it did before. These are pending requests, but I can no longer edit the username or the password because these accounts have already been created on the program manager site, and I don't need to acknowledge that I've created them because the utility has been run. But the utility cannot assign a program administrator. I still need to select the individual who is going to administer this account, and that is a manual process. So for this account, I'm going to select Paul and go ahead and approve it. And that's all that I needed to do as a program manager. If I'm running the automated utility, I can allow that utility to run on a schedule, and all I need to do is log in and assign an administrator and approve the account. All right, we're now going to take a look at what happens when you create the program facilitator accounts and you do not use a universal password. So if we leave this blank and we come look at our program facilitators, we see that we have a pending request, but no password has been suggested. We could enter a password here and approve this account. We would also need to manually create this account in the Apple Program Manager VPP portal. But I want to take a look at what happens if we attempt to use the automated account creation utility without using a universal password. So let's go ahead and run our VPP account creation utility. It's going to initialize. It's going to log in and gather the pending requests. And it finds that there is no suggested password. It's fixing to create the account VPP 130. So I will need to manually enter a password. And of course, the password needs to comply with Apple's password requirements. So I'll say OK, and now it will automatically create the account. So it still saves me quite a few steps. Certainly if I have 15 or 20 accounts to create, I'll have to enter 15 or 20 unique passwords, but it's going to automatically create that account. It's going to log into that account and change the default Apple 123 password. It's still going to set my security credentials for me so that I can recover this account. And it's also going to come back into the VPP manager and let me know, see, these are now locked out because it has already set this password. I simply need to select a program administrator and approve the account.